This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Yo, Jason.
Hey, yeah, and this week, as promised about, 15 minutes ago, it's like I'm talking about Vertigo's new Vertigo crime imprint. And yeah, last time I said it was not long for this world. And, that's... Well, yeah, it really is a judgment about the quality of the books so far. But really, the thing is, like, when you're trying to create a new imprint, like, you really have to, like, nail a certain standard of excellence consistently. It's like throughout all your releases in order for that kind of thing to take. I mean, it's probably telling that when DC's Vertigo imprint was formed over 15 years ago, that it wasn't like just something that was created out of thin air. Mm-hmm. But it was really just a collection of titles of the mature sensibility, like the Sandman, Doom Patrol, Animal Man, that they just like decided to put them all together, add new series that like also explored this certain mindset, and then just like put them in their own little section of the DC universe and all. Well, separated from the DC universe, I mean, but. And then it's like they just built on that from there. Like it just kept on changing and developing to the point where it's like, well, they still do mature takes on like familiar DC concepts. They're also like just like trying to stake out more like really high end stuff, like to be the HBO of the comics world. Mm-hmm. And generally, I think they've succeeded in that. But really, the truth is like that's really the only successful imprint that DC has launched over the years. Really, it's like. There are other imprints such as Helix, their sci-fi imprint, Minx, their imprint for girls, like folded within 2 years of their launch. Mm-hmm. Well, Helix is worthwhile, if only because we got Warren Ellis's brilliant Transmetropolitan out of it, and their CMX imprint. Well, yeah, it's their manga imprint. It's still going now, but really, it's like the only successful title they've had from it is Mega Tokyo, which they got after Dark Horse started publishing it, but like since like really it's like and like with Vertigo Crime it's their latest stab at that, and to be honest it's like well I like some of the books they've released for it so far of the three. I honestly don't see it surviving past the initial wave, but like let me tell you about that one when I start talking about the books themselves. Now the first one I picked up was Dark Entries by written by Ian Rankin and illustrated by Werther Dell'Edera. Now, this was a no-brainer buy for me because aside from being like one of the lead-off titles in the imprints line, it's a John Constantine story. So basically, you're talking like you got the main character from Hellblazer, do it in another graphic novel, and I just look and think, hey, I'll pretty much buy anything that John Constantine stars in because like there are a few things so. As reliably entertaining as a good Hellblazer story. But the thing about Dark Entries, though, is that it's not exactly a crime. It's not really a crime story. You see, Constantine is basically persuaded by the producers of this reality show called Dark Entries, basically about this series where they get a bunch of random individuals, put them in a house, and start scaring them through. To think that the house is haunted by mechanical means and stuff, but then they admit to Constantine that like this we've lost control of this. We think the house that these people are in is actually haunted, so we want you to go in and figure out what's going on. And Constantine does because he needs the money and all, and it's like when we get to the story you get the setup, you get to know the characters, like Constantine's connection, and Constantine's role in this, how he's got, and it's good. It's like a traditional story, and it's not inconceivable for John to go into like standard like crime story territory. Brian Azzarello's run on the main Hellblazer title was pretty crime fiction oriented, though they always had some supernatural element to each of the stories, just because you can't have a truly normal Hellblazer story after all. And that's essentially what happens in Dark Entries, because after a certain point, then the real nature of the house is revealed, and then it becomes a proper Hellblazer story instead of a straight up crime story. I'm not complaining because Rankin does have a great handle on Constantine. He writes him as a great sarcastic bastard that he is. And even when the story shifts into decidedly supernatural territory, it's still pretty interesting to see how things play out, because he's writing a story that's clearly in the old school Jamie Delano who wrote the who's the original writer on Hellblazer. His story, like dealing with like satirical elements about how we all relate to like reality TV and just and the like. It's good stuff, and it's like this would be a great. And you could have just like marketed this as like straight up Hellblazer graphic novel, and it would have been great. But we're looking at this as like entry for the Vertigo crime series, and you're thinking, well, you know, it's like this is supposed to be like crime novels that are like or down to earth like stories about real humans that like they're trying to appeal to the bookstore market. Then really this kind of like really misses that mark by a country mile. So if you're buying this and you're thinking you're getting like a good straight up crime fiction story, you're not getting that. But if you are buying this because you're expecting a good John Constantine story, then yeah, it's like I highly recommend this. And to be honest, like if anything, it proves that I would like it if Rankin decides to actually like if Vertigo decides to offer Rankin like say like a spot on like the regular Hellblazer title at some point, then I would definitely love to see what he does with it because he does a great job here. But you know, it's like it's not exactly what it is as advertised. But though I do like Werther Deladera's like a minimalist take on the art. Overall, like it's recommended, but it's like it's just gotta know what you're getting into, what you're paying for first. Now, the other title that was released as part of their initial lineup is really a straight up crime fiction story. In fact, it's a very familiar straight up crime fiction story. It's called Filthy Rich by Brian Azzarello and with art by Victor Santos. Now, Azzarello, he's no stranger to crime fiction at all, having written 100 Bullets for DC and also their best-selling Joker graphic novel, which I covered in our crossover cast with No Podcast for Old Men. Now, Filthy Rich, it's a story of a former high school quarterback named Richard Junkin, who's now working as a car salesman for one of the biggest distributors on the Eastern Seaboard, and he can sell cars, but really it's like the guy kind of like he's kind of crap at the job, and so rather than fire him, his boss decides to give him the last chance to be and have him be the quote unquote guardian angel for his daughter, like a ne'er-do-well girl who's always getting herself in trouble on the society pages. This is a period piece taking place around the 1960s or so. So just imagine her as the kind of quote unquote the Paris Hilton of her day. Now, it's not bad because like Azzarello, he's a very talented writer, and this proves that even when he's writing on autopilot, he's still better than a lot of other writers out there. I mean, look at this and his story of like a guy trying to aspire to more than his position in life. You know, it's not bad. It's written functionally for what it is. It's got that great film noir feel and look to it, thanks to Victor Santos' art. And it's like it's really not bad at all. But I mean, it's like we're not really breaking any new ground here. I mean, if anything, the only interesting twist comes at the end when I don't really want to go into spoilers here, but let's just say that it proves that Junk is much stupider than he looks. If such a thing was possible after you first meet the character, but it's like overall, it's like it's all right. I mean, like the art, like Richard Santos' art, and the guy owes a clear debt to Azzarello's collaborator on 100 Bullets, Eduardo Risso. I mean, it's like there's a couple panels in here that I look and think, wow, he just took that right from Risso's style. But he also has owes a debt to Mike Oeming's Arts of Powers cartoonist style. But it's good. It's really good art overall. It's like, and it really gives you that great film noir feel. But you know, it's like I've read better from Azzarello, and it's like if you've never read anything by him, it's like I'd give it. It's like you're probably more entertained. You're probably more entertained than I was. I mean, like it's definitely not in the league of 100 Bullets, but it's not bad for what it is. I mean, it's like for just like a shut your brain off like crime fiction noir tale. It's not bad. But you know, it's like if we're trying to launch an imprint on on something like this, it's like it probably should have been better. So, but it's like it's still. That being said, it's still a masterpiece compared to what I'm about to talk about next, and that's The Chill by writer Jason Starr and artist Mick Bertolorenzi. And it's like I looked at this and I was like, I heard that that Starr is supposed to be like an up and coming crime writer. He's written some good books apparently called The Follower and Panic Attack. And also, you got a nice quote from Ed Brubaker on the back saying, "The Chill is the darkest, sexiest, most twisted noir comic I think I've ever read." Now, I love Ed Brubaker enough to do a whole podcast on his stuff, but I gotta say, Ed, we gotta agree to disagree on this, because this, oh God, I can't believe that Vertigo let this go out as is. I mean, it's a story of these murders are taking place in New York City. Like, these guys are being found frozen and dismembered, and because like this girl and her dad, like they come over here from Ireland. They're apparently like immortal, because she's apparently got the power to harness the sexual energy of her partners while she's having sex with them, and apparently like she can use that to grant immortality to herself and whoever she pleases. And then like they go to New York, and apparently like her and her dad, who's forcing her to commit all these murders and all these sex related murders, they're just going around killing more people. And you got the cop who's trying to track him down, and this other more grizzled cop who looks like he walked out, who really looks like Wolverine after he's been beaten up particularly badly. And they're trying to track. And like the regular cop is trying to track him down, while the Wolverine guy is just he was one of the girl's victims who actually actually managed to survive the experience, and his job is just to be crazy, and it's like and try to track them down as well. I mean, it's just really over the top sex and violence type stuff. I mean, it's like you got the girl like seducing these people in bars, and then her dad coming around and killing them right at the moment of climax, and there doesn't seem to really any point to a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's just like ridiculous sex and violence, and it just doesn't really seem to go anywhere. I mean, it's just like gruesome, over the top stuff, and then the characters you really don't care about these people. I mean, they're just stock generic characters. I mean, the cop, he's a family guy. It's like the girl, it's like she's just scared. Her dad's crazy. The Wolverine guy is just loony and in a way that's supposed to be kind of appealing, but it just it's just really terrible from start to finish. I mean, it's like and it's like I know that this is Starr's first graphic novel, but I look at this and I think it's like, dude, it's like if you've written these other novels, like, I mean, based on this, I can't imagine how you won any awards for those. It's like the dialogue is just standard tough guy stuff, and it's just generally not very good at all. But also, what's terrible is the art by Mick Bertolorenzi. Now, I'll say that there are a few panels that do remind me of Eduardo Risso, but overall, I mean, it's just like it's really cramped, overwrought stuff, and it's not helped at all by the fact that even though all these books are meant to be in black and white, and and for Filthy Rich and Dark Entries, it looks like the artist drew that knowing that it was going to be black and white. With this, though, it looks like this was originally meant to be in color, but then they just drained all the color out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually, which is originally intended to be a graphic novel from Vertigo, but then they decided to go ahead and just like, instead of just like putting it out as a full color graphic novel, they decided to just go and put it out as a black and white entry in the Vertigo crime series instead. And
it shows, huh?
Yes, it does. And but just overall, I mean, like this it's just like really shoddy storytelling in the end, which throws in some ludicrous plot twists about the Wolverine cop growing young again and teaming up with a girl to like seduce girls so they can kill them and harvest their sexual energy. It's just, God, why did I pay money for this? Oh, wait, now I know, because I wanted to do a podcast on Vertigo's crime series. Yeah, and looking at this, it's like, oh, God, well, it's like with a miss like this, it's like really, I'm really not expecting the series, the imprint to last longer beyond the other two books they've got in the series, in the imprint, which I gotta admit I am kind of interested in checking out, because the next one, The Bronx Kill, is written by Peter Milligan. And while Milligan's got definitely a weird sense of storytelling and sense of humor, he can do a good crime story. And he's been doing some great stuff on Hellblazer recently, so I'm looking forward to The Bronx Kill coming out in March. Then you've got Area 10 by coming out in April, by Christos Gage, who's best known for his superhero stuff on Stormwatch PhD and Avengers: The Initiative. I'm kind of interested in seeing what he does when he's given like a non-superhero title to look at. And it looks like he's the focus of this book is going to be trepidation, the art of like cracking a hole in your skull to let the bad thoughts out. So like these, now for all I know, these could be just like shining revolutionary examples of the crime graphic novel genre that are going to like prove that like this is like this and sell tens of thousands of copies are going to prove that this imprint is worth keeping on. But come on, I don't even believe this stuff as I'm saying it right now. So like really, it's like they'll probably be good, I hope, but overall it's like I would honestly be surprised if we get a second wave. Even if we do get a second wave, well, DC's Minx imprint got a second wave, and even then that kind of killed it. That didn't survive it. It didn't survive that right there. So, it's like, so let me just say that like Vertigo Crime, it was nice knowing you. Yeah, it was good to see like Vertigo branch out into like more mainstream stuff for a little while. But it's like just keep doing what you're doing right now. It's like I read enough of your stuff is. I'm really looking forward to the movie version of The Losers coming out in April. But overall, it's like next time you try to do an imprint, you just gotta gotta go for the grand slam right out of the park. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on that note, go and call it a night, and hopefully I'll be back to talk about more positive stuff next time.
All right, we'll see you later.